Hey everyone, Genome here, catch you with my next video in my how-to series. I've been lately rewiring a lot of the light fixtures in our house, and I got to thinking today, well, why haven't I been recording these? Since some people seem to like these how-to videos. But today, I've actually already done it, but I had to come back and re-record the intro. I'm rewiring, or replacing, some track lighting in one of our rooms, and just rewiring it with a kind of standard wafer. And I was going to show you the process for changing out a standard light fixture, one where you already have an existing junction box there, mounting screws, all that good stuff, so you can actually brighten up any room in the house. It's not as hard as you might think. Don't be afraid of it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, and let's get to work. Alright, you see before you about all the tools you're going to need for this sort of job, and really you don't need all this usually, but you know, it's just good to have it ready and at the ready. Over here, first and almost foremost, is one of the things I like to use is a headlamp. That's great because most of the time you got to shut the power off and you're in dark rooms and it's pointing right where you need it. You don't need an assistant there, though it's usually recommended to do this to somebody else in the house just in case something happens, whether you miss a breaker or fall off a ladder or whatever. But just a public service announcement there. Some sort of screwdriver. You probably want a universal one because once again, you don't remember whether it's going to be flat or Phillips up in there. Once again, also too, it might behoove you to get electrician grade stuff, but that's up to you. Some sort of razor knife, just in case you got to do some cutting, paring, whatever. Great universal tool. Another really important thing is some sort of voltage tester. Make sure you're not actually working on something live that'll knock you right off that ladder and ruin your day. Trust me there. Pair of wire cutters with strippers. You'll need this more often than you might think to either adjust the size of the wire for the wire nut itself, or maybe they just put a whole nest up there and you gotta do some rearranging. You wanna be able to strip back the wire sheath. This is maybe not needed, but some of the older homes have really stiff wire in there, so a pair of needle nose, beefy needle nose are not a bad idea. Some electrical tape, and of course some wire nuts. These should be coming in a little package with your unit, but it never hurts to have a couple of those laying around anyway, and they are really cheap. So yeah, that's all you're gonna need to get this one started. All right, so yesterday I was shooting some footage, and for whatever reason, my audio wasn't working. But in this one, I'm going to be replacing some of the track lighting, like you see over here, with some recessed LED wafers. These are older ones that are made to fit up into the junction box. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that really it's not too bad. Don't be scared to do this yourself and save yourself some pretty outrageous fees sometimes. But I will say this, if you don't feel comfortable doing this kind of work at all, do not hesitate to contact the electrical contractor of some kind. Most of these fixtures are really easy to do as long as there's already a junction box installed, which most overhead lighting, there's already one there. So yeah, basically you're just going to do some color matching at this point. Make sure the breaker is thrown. You can hope for the switch, but like in this case, I think there's another hot lead that goes through here. And so the actual light switch won't kill it. So just better safe than sorry, hit the breaker, save yourself possibly a lot of headache later. And before you go in there, make sure to check all your leads, everything in there to make sure you're not hot. Don't be freaked out by that. These things are really sensitive. Well, usually if you like bang them against something, they'll go off, but it'll make a very distinct chirping noise if there's any action in there. I also touch the outside metal just to make sure nothing weird going on, but we're all good here. So let's commence. Now this one had a built-in tether, so I just hung the tether off the mounting screw. This is a bit of a different design too, but at the end it's all the same thing. So I usually like to start with the ground. This one, we're a little bit short on ground here, but there is a lead in there. This came with wire nuts. So let's go ahead and wire nut these together. Some people twist, some people don't. Your mileage may vary. Nice and tight. Okay, and once you get them snug where you think they're gonna be, I always give them a little tug to make sure everything's in there good. Nothing loose, because they tend to get loose in there if you don't get them just right. All right, next, I'll go ahead and go with the hot. And oops, I try to get them even when I put them in. Sometimes it wants to fight you. that one was. I think we got it that time. Tug on each wire. Especially with this stranded stuff, it's not as beefy as the solid that's in there. So this one came with 3 wire nuts, which is perfect. If not, make sure you have an assortment of them with you. You can also use the Wago connectors. I just soon use the wire nuts they have in here, but it's an option. And hopefully this is getting better footage than yesterday's. It was giving you motion sickness if you're not careful. Okay. Each line of tug. So now we got all 3 of those in there. So let's go ahead and add a little extra there. And this may be code depending where you live. So once again, I am not an electrician, electrical contractor. So if you have any questions about code, look up your local state regulations and statutes or ask a professional. But I like to put a bit of securing electrical tape right here. Cinch them down. Nothing elaborate. And I didn't show it to you, but there was, well, it was direct wire into the system, but a lot of times you'll take these down and there'll be a system of wire nuts already from the old one. So you can reuse those, but I just didn't use the new ones that come with it. But so you have to take that all off, make sure you got clean ends, and you may have to trim depending on their length to fit into the wire nut. That's why wire trimmers come in very handy. So let's go ahead. You really don't need to fool with the ground, but I'm already in there. So if you are an electrician that takes umbrage with how I'm doing things, please mention in the comments below how it should be gone about. I want to give people the best knowledge possible. But this method will save you a bunch of money and time. All right, make sure there's all good there. All right, so there we go. So believe it or not, we're actually almost done here. Now this one's a little bit weird because it's got these clips on the side. This is an older style one made for these recessed ones, but I put some of the newer wafer ones in which you direct wire to that go in the ceiling, but then you got to drill into the ceiling. This one's made to fit into a junction box. So go ahead and tidy up what you got going on in here. Try not to bend anything too much lest it come loose or break. I hope this will actually fit in here. This box is actually pretty full already. All right. I get the sneaking suspicion it might not. But this procedure still does work regardless of. And usually you want to test these before you mount them in there. Let's see here. These clips going like that. And as I feared, I think there's too much stuff in there. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go hit the breaker here and to show you if this works. But then, yeah, I'm gonna have to do some fooling around here. You don't need to watch that. So 1 second. All right, so breaker is flipped. Light obviously works. So it's really just as simple as that. I'll also let you listen to the volt detector here. If I can get it out of my pouch. The pouch will save you a lot of walking up and down stairs. This is what it'll sound like when you got hot leads. Hear that? Cool. So another thing you can also do, this box will just make it go off too. So yeah, so make sure you have this. If it's making the chirping noise or whatever your instructions say it's not supposed to do, if that means the power's still on, so don't take any chances. But anyway, yeah, I won't bore you with mounting all this because I'm gonna have to do some rearranging in there obviously, but there it is. You too can do this. Don't be afraid of it. If you have any experience with this or if it helped, let me know in the comments below. And once again, if you have any questions, also let me know that in the comments below. And until next time, this is Genome out.